Hello there. I'm going to kick off this video by looking at two examples of how much life in this country has changed over the past 70 years or so. Firstly, take a look at this nostalgic photograph which shows three children playing in a mill pond on a summer's day just before World War II. The picture, which can be found in the Loughborough and Shepshed Echo's Millennium book, was taken by the paper's photographer Harold Woods. Harold was on his way to another job when he spied the pleasant scene at Dishley on the outskirts of Loughborough. He had no worries about lifting up his heavy plate camera and taking a snap. I'm not sure that the children were even aware of what he was doing. Today, any photographer popping up from behind the bushes and taking such a shot would probably be suspected of being a paedophile. He would certainly need to obtain the consent of the children's parents. A few years ago, when I tried to take a photo of my grandson when he was appearing in a school show, I was sternly warned to put my camera away. The days when Harold Woods took his photo were very innocent, and even young children could play all day long in the countryside without adult supervision. Where did it all go wrong? By the way, you can find a copy of this photograph on my Rippin Reasoning blog in the Favourite Photos album. Example number 2 comes from the days when I first started to report on the Loughborough Magistrates Court. That was in the late 1950s. The Echo religiously covered every single case at the court, even parking and speeding fines. My photo shows the old court building in Woodgate, where I spent so many hours and was taken only a few years ago. It's probably hard to believe now, but the theft of a bottle of milk could take even a first offender before the bench. Today they would probably just get a ticking off. But in those long gone days, the shame of a press report was viewed as part of the punishment. It was the equivalent of being put in the stocks in the town hall square. People convicted of minor thefts often approached the press and pleaded for their case to be kept out of the paper. "If it goes in, I will lose my job and it will ruin my life," was an often heard plea. But we reporters would firmly point out that it was policy to cover every case with no exceptions. Years later, when there were so many cases that it was not possible to cover them all, it became more difficult to respond to such pleas. Nowadays, not many weekly papers can afford to let a reporter sit in the magistrate's court for hours on end, and even many serious cases do not receive publicity. Yes, times have changed.